Summarize written text. One of the important questions in writing module of PTE. The first thing you should understand is this particular question helps you in the score for reading and writing. So please don't underestimate. Don't just copy paste the sentences and something you write and some different score you get. Okay. So it is always good that just understand the real patterns. No exam is more difficult than you are thinking it to be. No exam is difficult. The only thing you should understand is what is it to be done? What are the strategies? Okay. So this particular lesson which we are going to learn today focuses on simple things. What is it? The first one, you will understand one, summarize written text in a clear way. What is that we are going to do? So first of all, we will go through the full text. Why so? Because this particular question has a total of 10 minutes time. Isn't it superb? Yes. Essay has 20 minutes of time requiring you to make 200 to 300 words. Whereas summarize written text gives you 10 good minutes. So why not utilize it very properly? So here we see. First we will go through a full text. Then we will break it into the sentence wise. And if you are coming across any grammar, any mistake, meanings, even that I will explain so that you hold the passage content very properly. Later, we will understand it in the words also. In our own words, we will understand it sentence wise. Then we will understand it in our own words. Finally, we will write a different sample answer and we will learn the grammar to use here and we will learn the grammar to connect the words. Okay. So first of all, here comes the passage. I am putting it right on the screen, so please wait. Yeah. The word count for this particular passage is 195 words. I wait for a second, pause the video, study the full paragraph to the extent you understand it very clearly. Okay. Now, let's go it understanding in the way we have thought it. What is it? Understanding every sentence very clearly and representing it in our own words. Okay. Is the purpose of history to promote a strong national identity and support national myths? Okay, one more time. Is the purpose of history to promote a strong national identity and support national myths? What is the meaning of the sentence? It says, some people think, though it is in a question mark and you don't find the word some people in the passage, it is implied. So what is the implication of this passage? It says, some people think history is to make a country feel proud and united. So whenever you listen about the history of any country or your country, you should feel proud and you should feel united, connected to the great legends of history. Fine. First paragraph is done. First sentence is done, I mean. Now, the second sentence. Certainly, it has been used in this way for centuries and this is often reflected in the history curriculum. Okay, history has been taught like this for a long time and school lessons show it. Fine, understanding it, right? Now, whenever we have the word has been or have been, it means that the action is still going on. Why we should learn this grammar tip? Because you have to enhance your essay writing and probably maybe in your summarized written text also. Or maybe any other module of PTE, when you come across this verb which is has been or have been in the present form, then the meaning of it is still happening or something is still true. Now don't confuse it with simple present tense. I am making a video on that where I bring the comparison of has been and is plus V1 plus ing form of sentences. As of now, has been and have been is something which is still happening or something which is still true. Fine. Now, sentence 3. We can all remember history at school as being a matter of learning lots of facts and dates and long lists of kings and queens. Hyphen, a grand narrative of how we got from a not so civilized past to the great nation we are today. So, what is the meaning of this sentence? It says school history was mostly about remembering king, queens, and the dates to show that the country became better over time. So, over time, it is showing our progress. That king has done that mistake, and now we are more civilized, we are more modern. Okay, sentence number 4 now. Putting aside the fact that national identity is a complex and decisive question, especially in countries like the UK, which is comprised of several nationalities, this approach to history emphasizes a broad understanding rather than a detailed understanding. Again, making it in our own simple words. How you can do all this? You can make your rough notes, utilize the 10 minutes time, don't just read and don't just hurry to cut, copy, paste the words. National identity is complicated, especially in multinational companies, and this style of history gives a general picture, not a deep learning. So you don't get into the details of it, you just have a general picture of it. The meaning of the words complex and decisive is too difficult, which means complex, and make people fight and disagree is decisive. Decisive. Remember, all the words have I's. No spelling mistakes again. Sentence number 5. Yet history is or should be a critical skeptical discipline. Some historians see their work as disapproving myths, demolishing orthodoxies, and exposing politically motivated narratives which claim to be objective. What does that technically meaning of this sentence? It is again very simple. It means history should raise questions, history should question stories, and some historians try to reveal false and biased versions. Biased is partial to some persons, some kings, some places. So there is a partial version giving up. There is a false version coming up. Sentence 6. What students need to develop are more critical and analytical skills. In other words, to think for themselves. The sentence means while the student is reading any history subject, he should learn to think and judge independently. That is the focus of history. Meaning of critical and analytical skills is not being believed easily and studying carefully by looking at parts. Analytical is studying carefully by looking at all the parts associated to that particular subject or thing. Question 7 now, the sentence 7. They can do this by studying certain historical problems in depth. So, how do they become very critical and analytical? Deep study helps students learn critical thinking. They should not give a general read. Rather, they should involve themselves in reading. So far, how easily you are also remembering, right? What did it say? History is important, but history only speaks about the kings, the queens, and the dates. But rather, it should tell the students, encourage the students to think independently. Fine. Now, sentence number 8. This involves being critical of the narratives presented by historians and skepticals of the myths preserved in the national memory. The long sentence, which means like what exactly was he saying, means so simple. What is it? Students should question. 1 second. Yes, students should question historian stories and national myths. Myth is a false belief. So the meaning of skeptical, myth, and preserve is not believing quickly. That is skeptical. Myth is not a true story, and preserve is to protect. Now, after understanding the 8 sentences, the paragraph, the main context is first narrow down to few important points. If you want a good score, let it be a summarized written text, let it be a retail lecture. The main context always is what is the main idea of the passage? So, write that question first. It says, history should not just teach national pride but should help students to think for themselves. This is the main idea. How many supporting ideas? There were many. I have made few here. So, which is history was used to promote national identity. It was used past tense. School history focused on memorizing facts, rules, and dates. Very good. National identity is complicated and not always united. History should question myths and biased stories. Students need critical and analytical thinking, and then deep study helps them challenge accepted narratives. Narratives are versions. The historians have their own versions. Now, what is that we have to do? We have understood the main idea. We are utilizing the 10 minutes time very, very beautifully. We have the main idea, we have the supporting points also noted down. Then it is what we have to do. Start with the main idea, then add the supporting points, and then add the final supporting point. So these are the 3 simple steps. So what is the main idea? History should teach students to think independently. What is the key supporting point? Instead of, now this is what you have to again learn, the language connecting word, cohesive device. That is, instead of only promoting national pride and memorizing facts. So, when you are connecting 2 thoughts, this thought is what we have to do. We should not do this. So, when you are encouraging something to do and avoiding something to stop, then the word is instead of, rather than. 3 words. I repeat again, instead of, rather than, and than. Now, what is the final supporting point? By questioning myths and biased versions of the past. By bias through this, with this. Okay, connecting words are also there. Main idea, supporting idea points are also there. Everything is ready. Now let's see a perfect answer in different ways. Different ways. Every reader will have different thoughts. So different answers here. First answer. History should develop independent thinking by questioning national myths and biased narratives rather than simply promoting national pride through memorizing facts. We should use the word should here. History can, history is, no, not that verbs. It should be a model verb which is should. What is the meaning of the should? Something which is very right to do or something which you want to recommend, like you should study. So you are recommending. You should study before your examination. So that means it is the correct thing. You cannot sleep. Okay, now the other sample answer. History has traditionally been used. Now, just now we have understood the meaning of the word has been and have been. Love the language, children. The more you fear, the more it far goes away. So, love the language. It is so simple. Getting back to the sample answer. History has traditionally been used to strengthen national identity through simplified narratives. Why simplified? Because they have not given the in-depth detail, no? That's why we have used the word simplified. Narratives is the word taken from the sample passage only. Narratives are stories, versions. But it should instead, see the contradicting word but and emphasizing word again instead. The model verb should. But it should instead, as you are listening to the video, I suggest you all to mimic with me. Do the lip synchronization along with me. But it should instead encourage critical thinking by questioning myths, political bias, and accepted historical perspectives. Perspectives are the versions, that is narratives. 28 words. Now, the last sample answer. History should not be used to promote national myths by glorifying. Glorifying is praising our country's great victories and figures, but rather it should be approached in an analytical and critical way. 28 words, one answer, 29 words, one answer. Whatever mode you want to do, you do. So, how beautiful summarized writing text is. Cut every sentence, understand it in your own way, join the main idea with the two or three supporting ideas, and there you get your good score, because this score helps in both reading and writing modules. Fine. Happy learning.